a guy that we love and obviously always like to get on when we get the opportunity to. It's been too long since we've spoken to him. He joins us via the Pearl Shreveport hotline. It is the man, the myth, the legend, Ron Higgins of the Shreveport Bossier Journal. Dog, how are you, sir?
Man, I was singing along with Warren Zevon. I was waiting for him to line. His hair was perfect. There you go.
Sorry, sorry I ruined it for you, the dog. I apologize.
Well, my hair's not perfect. I always dream of my hair being perfect. I still have hair, so that's about it.
Yeah. Well, hey, you're doing better than a lot to actually still have hair. Certainly doing a little bit better than LSU football is right now. Just kind of give me a 50,000 foot view, big picture view. What's going on with LSU football right now?
Oh, I think probably offensively they lost their way. They totally quit throwing the ball downfield. Everything's a 5-yard pass. They thought they would have to change their offensive, I guess, philosophy or play calling to fit Nussmeier, what his skill set is, and they've done that somewhat. But I also think, I just think that a lot of it starts with an offensive line that really, honestly, is not living up to its supposed billing. I mean, it doesn't run block very well. It pass block kind of fell apart this past weekend. They had some injuries that still fell apart. Nussmeier never wants to run the ball, and so teams kind of tee off on any kind of RPO. They just kind of laugh, because they know he's not going to ever keep the ball.
Yeah.
It kind of comes one-dimensional. And when the offense started having problems, and the whole team has problems because the defense, it's gotten better. Since last year, it couldn't get worse. It got better. But the offense kind of carried stuff earlier in the season while the defense was getting better. But the offense couldn't afford to have any kind of game where it just kind of broke down and was terrible. And ever since the second half, the A&M game, it's been terrible. They scored touchdowns in 3 of their 27 possessions since then.
Yeah.
And one of those was a throwaway against Alabama in the final 12 seconds. And so they're not scoring. And you can't put your finger on it. Why it's gone downhill. The play calling's become kind of mundane. It's gone really predictably and conservative. I'm sure they would like to let Nussmeier rip one downfield, but I don't know if they can pass protect that long. Their receivers are good, but they're not as good as last year's receivers.
Sure.
They're not in the class. And so I think there's all these elements playing into it. But, they're basically what they are. I thought they'd be like 9-3. And at best, 10-2 at best. Probably at worst 8-4. They could are on track probably 8-4. They don't have enough. They don't have enough talent in a lot of places. They don't have enough running back talent. They still need more people in the defensive backfield. They're just not quite there yet. I didn't expect them to be.
Ron, is there something to the idea that this was always going to be somewhat of a kind of bridge year? You lost the Heisman Trophy winner. Look, Jaden Daniels made up for a lot of deficiencies with his just natural abilities. I'm with you. The offensive line has been a negative surprise. They were billed as being one of the best units in the country. The 2 tackles are going to be, top 15, top 20 picks, and they have not lived up to that. Couldn't run the ball early, started to run the ball, now they can't pass protect. It's been a bit of a mess. But was this always going to be somewhat of a bridge year? Because Kelly does have a really good recruiting class coming in next year, and he's got the bones of a really good recruiting class the following year. Is maybe the expectations for this season, were they maybe a little too high?
I think by fans, yeah. For Kelly, no. I mean, I think he knew this year was going to be a struggle. I mean, he kind of said from the beginning. He never really candy coach very much. He really doesn't, which is kind of like, oh, well, I like him. A lot of people don't like him. I like him because he doesn't candy coach stuff very much. And he basically said, I mean, some deficiencies they had to start the year and stuff they're still trying to get better at, which they haven't got better at. And I think when he says stuff like, we've got to coach these guys better. These are our guys we have. We can, this stuff in the NFL, we can't trade them. Basically, he's telling you, we don't have enough talent right now.
Right.
And this is what we got. And LSU fans believe because you pay a guy $9 million a year, that suddenly they should be automatic winners. It always kind of cracks me up when fans go, my God, they're paying that much money to them. My God, they should be winning. I mean, that's an exorbitant amount. Hey, it's the market, Hoss.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, which SEC coach isn't getting $9 million a year these days?
Yeah. That's your investment. You're investing in that for a football program to carry your entire athletic department.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It makes the money for your so $9 million is a small piece of chump change, considering what you're trying to invest in to make all the money for your athletic department. So people don't get the economics of sports very well. They just think, they can go get a discount coach somewhere. And they always say, well, let's just get rid of the guy. And I always say, well, who's out there better you're going to hire?
Right.
Who's your miracle cure? A lot of people don't like him because he is seen yelling at players on the sidelines, which I have no problem with. Because you know why? They're getting paid now. They're getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
They're no longer just – I know people want to say, that's somebody's son. I get that. But somebody's son is a negotiating shark. Somebody's son is getting paid now. And so when you get paid, you're employed, your boss has a right to yell at you if things aren't going well and if you're not getting the point. This is football coaching forever. This isn't nothing new. But because people just don't like Kelly, they don't like it because he ain't one of us.
Right.
They don't like it because he didn't smile a lot. They don't like anything. They just kind of take a year and blow it up. They lost 3 straight games. My God, this is the SEC. It happened. LSU fans believe that nobody else in this league ever gets any better. They're supposed to be great every year, and we're going to be great, and everybody else is,
right.
not going to get any better.
Yeah, and so my question is this, Ron. What's the silver lining here for an LSU fan? Brian Kelly's not going anywhere. They're not paying him $50 million. Even though I keep hearing rumors from people at LSU that they're trying to get the money together to get rid of him, which I think is crazy. But what's the silver lining here that you would give to LSU fans that, hey, tomorrow's going to be a better day. Next year is going to be a better year. Obviously, the big recruiting class coming in. But what do you kind of specifically look at and go, this is what should give LSU fans hope?
That he has a really good recruiting class coming in. They've got good commitments. They got to close the deal. The guy he's the most qualified head coach they've ever hired in football. They hired an adult. They hired a guy who's been a proven winner. He understands how to win. He understands what it takes to put together a program to win. He's trying to put a program to win in the long run, not a program to win for 1 year and disappear. And the LSU fans just want instant answers right now. They forget left the program with under 40 scholarship players.
Mm-hmm.
They had to pile a bunch of transfer portal people in the first 2 years just to get the numbers up. And now he's gone away from that, which is he's been more selective with his transfer portal people, the ones he got this year that have all been good. First 2 years, not so much. Has he made mistakes? Yeah. I mean, he hired a defensive staff that wasn't very good, and he got rid of them all. And so, yeah, was that a mistake? Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's on him. He's trying to correct that. Will he make any offensive changes at the end of this year? I don't know. We'll see. But the guys, it's not like they pulled this guy off the street and he hadn't won before. The guy is like probably one of the considered one of the top 3 or 4 coaches in college football.
Yeah, I believe he's isn't he the winningest active coach right now?
Probably.
Yeah, I think he is.
So people forget that. And again, they don't think anybody else in this league is any good. I didn't surprise me Florida won. I mean, LSU skimmed by against Florida too many times in like past 8 or 10 years. They've won 5 straight. You knew the percentage would even out sooner or later.
Yeah, the players this year were smart enough not to throw a shoe during the course of the game.
Yeah, exactly. You know. And also, I mean, the most disappointing thing about the Florida game was the fact that their dual threat quarterback was playing on one leg and didn't have to run and beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, you know, just, and so now you go to, and this week's game it is not going to be easy. They're playing an offense that requires basically assignment defensive football, and when you mention the word assignment and defense to LSU, you just start getting shivers up and down your spine because they've been so awful at it.
Yeah, if you don't like what you saw from the second half of the Texas A&M game. And from watching Jalen Milroe with his huge holes, don't get ready for Jerry Kill's offense coming in with Diego Pavia running it, because it ain't going to be fun for you.
And the whole thing, you know, I love watching Diego Pavia this year. He's like one of those guys you watch and you look at him and go, that guy's a quarterback, really? And then he just starts making plays. He's one of those guys that he doesn't look unbelievably great. He just goes out and makes play after play.
Yeah, he reminds me a little bit of Steven Garcia, the old South Carolina quarterback. That had the like crazy mullet or whatever. And every time you look up, you know, he's finding a way to win a game. Like that's what Diego Pavia is, and he continues to. And he's in, you know, the fact that Vanderbilt Clark Lee was smart enough to go get Diego Pavia and Jerry Kill and bring them both in and run that offense that they had so much success with together out in New Mexico. The fact that he was smart enough to get them together and bring them in, like kudos to Clark Lee for having an idea and a solid thought process and making it pay off.
Yeah, man, it was a great idea. And I hope Pavia gets another year. I know he's got a lawsuit working still.
Right.
Now, I hope he gets another year. I mean, I just like he's one of those guys. He's just a really good college quarterback. I mean, it won't translate to the pros, but for a college, he's a really good quarterback. And you know, LSU has only lost twice to Vandy and Baton Rouge. One was the very first game in like 1905. The other one was in 1951. I'm not saying, man. Look, I'm not any LSU fan trying to. They shouldn't be counting any game in the bag for the rest of this year. They should have done before the Florida game, honestly. But and again, you're not going to get rid of Brian Kelly at the end of this year. Maybe not in the end of next year. You get a recruiting class in, and it's playing pretty well, and then you pile another one on top of that. I mean, he's got a huge buyout. I mean, honestly, you should give a guy 5 years. I mean, again, who's out there that's better? I hear so much stupid stuff. It's just like I have to stay off social media, so I just don't start throwing my phone across the room because some of the stuff is so stupid, you know.
Yeah, like
let's go get Coach Prime. Let's go get Coach Prime. Oh, you mean Deion Sanders? I don't call him Coach Prime. Really? Why? Because he's had one good year? Really? And basically, it's a bunch of transfer partners, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know, you know, at this point, I don't know who you go. I'll say this. I don't know who you go get on paper that's better than Brian Kelly. There may be some guys out there that you know, I mean, look, you know, Kurt Cignetti has had an insane season at Indiana and just got paid after having the amazing season. So there's guys out there that you don't know, that you've never heard of. that are somewhat unknown. That Lance Leipold, who's a good friend of our shows, goes to Kansas and has amazing success, and might spoil Coach Prime's season here this weekend. There are guys out there. But for a proven commodity like LSU to get a proven commodity like Brian Kelly seemed like a home run. I want to switch gears a little bit with you, Ron. Let's talk hoops since we're getting into basketball season. Before I let you go, talking to Ron Higgins from the Shreveport Bossier Journal, joining us courtesy of the Pearl Shreveport Hotline. Dog, let's talk about first the men's team. Matt McMahon squad, undefeated, got a nice win over Kansas State. Seemed like he's kind of figured things out, kind of got the pieces in place after a slow start to his tenure. What are the basketball Tigers looking like?
They've got better talent in the past couple of years. First year he threw a team together. Last year a little bit better. This year a little bit better. I think they were finished 14th or 15th in the league in the preseason. I don't see them doing that. I can see them getting close to 500 in this league. They're a lot better, but then you go look at what the other teams bought in the portal, and you go, I think that they're doing they're playing a lot smarter. They seem like they're running more offense. They got more scorers. They got more shooters. It seems like he's got people to fit his system, and that always helps. So they'll be better. Can they make the tournament? I don't know. I don't know if they'll make the tournament, but it's obvious the people he's got more better players than he's had the first 2 years by far. I'd say that.
Yeah, I'll say I love the fact that McMahon likes to recruit versatile bigs. Right, guys that can step out and shoot a little bit, guys that aren't afraid to handle it every now and then. Like, I love the fact that he always seems to have one or two bigs that are really versatile. Hey, look, as a pickup basketball big that was very versatile, Ron, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate a good versatile big man.
Absolutely, which means you don't have to be in the post all the time. You can step out and shoot threes if nobody says anything.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Let's flip over to the women's side. Obviously, Kim Mulkey, getting Samaya Smith back is huge. Michaela Williams, Parkway Zone from up here in Bossier. By the way, they're visiting Bossier coming up in December the 8th, I believe, against Grambling. So if anyone wants to go watch Michaela Williams, they're going to take on Grambling over at the as we lovingly refer to it, the SAC, a.k.a. Brookshire's Grocery Arena. Over in Bossier, it feels like Mulkey's got a team with Flaugier and Samaya Smith and Michaela Williams and some bit like it feels like she's got a team that she certainly could make some noise with this year.
I agree, and without all the drama, that's what you notice the most about this team, the lack of drama. I mean, Angel was Angel, and there's a lot of drama with Angel. But she went in the portal and got a bunch of guards who can play. Miracle Shepherd from Mississippi State. She's been hurt the past couple of weeks. She's their best defensive player. When they get her back, they could kind of take off a little bit. They just got Paul back in the lineup a couple of games ago. She threw 3 charges last night. Kaylin Gilbert from Arizona has been really good. Jada Richard, a freshman, has been good. Shante Wilson from I think Miami has been good. I just like their makeup. Flaugier is just playing it. She's just an elite athlete. He's a really good basketball player, and people mistake her side hustle as a rapper.
Right.
They take that and they see that rather than her as the basketball player. She truly loves basketball. She really works hard at it. She cares about it, and she's getting 25 a game like it's nothing because she's just running past people. Michaela's kind of working her way back in off an ankle injury she had in preseason. It's starting to come back to her, getting her legs under her. She's playing well. But my favorite player in this team is Anissa Morrow because she goes out and gets you a double every game and really doesn't touch the ball. Nothing's really run for her. She's just an absolutely all elbows and just fights for every rebound. Does all the little things and comes up with points and rebounds and the type of person you need on a team who just every game she's going to be really good and really consistent, yet doesn't demand the ball. I like this team. I think at the very least it's a Sweet 16 team. I mean, and we'll see how it plays out. Of course, Kim just signed the #1 recruiting class in the nation coming in for next year.
Yep.
So I mean, they're going to be really, really good. I mean, Kim's teams never drop off too far ever. They never have.
Yeah, I mean, she's had one losing season in her entire head coaching career. So,
yeah, that was like in the beginning of her career, probably.
Yeah,
right.
It's
and so I
crazy.
mean, and so once and so it's obvious kids want to play for her because they like to be coached hard, and they like to play for a coach who allows them to have their own personality. And playing for Kim is pretty simple. You can be who you want to be. Just make sure you get on the court, you bust your butt for me every minute and play defense. Okay? Yep. That's all I ask.
Defense and rebounding.
And it's pretty simple. That's right. And you do that, and she's fine. It's good. We're all good. When you don't do that, when you just start slacking a little bit, when there's a lack of enthusiasm or hustle, that's when you find yourself on the bench like Angel Reese did for several games last year. But he actually had a game after she shot a 3-pointer.
Yep.
And basically sat her down, gave her attitude adjustment. She was good the rest of the year. But they're going to be good. Baseball's going to be good. Just need to get football over with. It's been a little worse than I thought it would be, but I didn't think it was going to be great anyway. So,
yeah.
But,
I mean, look.
The
hires so far for Scott Woodward, he's, jury's out on Brian Kelly, jury's out on Matt McMahon, but the jury is in, and Kim Mulkey was arguably maybe the best hire of his entire career anywhere. To get her away from Baylor was massive, and obviously the wins have followed.
And Jay Johnson's been a really good hire.
Yeah.
And so, but LSU football fans got to realize this team could be 1-5 really easy in this league right now.
Mm-hmm.
They should have lost to South Carolina. They could have lost to Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of. I mean, there's always that little bit of delusional effect that we're just this far away from the playoffs. But yeah, you're also this far away from the Duke's Mayo Bowl too, Hoss. So just take that into account, and you suffer through this year, and you go back and reload and start all over again.
Look, I'm not going to lie, Ron. I love mayonnaise, but I would throw the Duke's Mayo Bowl so I don't get doused in mayonnaise. Just not going to lie. Like I don't mind eating it. I don't want it on me. So I would as a head coach, I would 100% throw the Duke's Mayo Bowl so I didn't have to get doused in mayonnaise. Like, period.
There you go. I agree. Exactly.
Yeah.
It would be really obvious with you though. Like instead of punting, you go for it every time on fourth down.
No, I would punt on second down. Like, I would make it so obvious that I did not want to be doused in mayonnaise that you would know. Like, I would be running. I would be QB kneel, like victory formation, down 14-0. Like I would kneel the game out at that point. Like I don't need a mayo bath, or I need someone to step up in my place, and then then I'll coach them hard. But I don't need a mayo bath. Like that's gross. Dog, you're the best. I do appreciate your time, brother. Thank you so much. We'll definitely get you back on as we get further into basketball season. Keep doing are you coming up for December 8th for LSU Grambling?
I have to see. I may be on a cruise, and I don't know.
I might be on a cruise. Not cruising the Red River, huh? I see where you're not cruising. It's the Red River over to the Sac. Dog, you're the best, brother. Exactly. Thanks for your time, man.
All right, see you. Bye.
All right, Ron Higgins from the Shreveport Bossier Journal.